Now, again, I stress I'm Christian Science, but I'm no doctor, but I believe you're pregnant.
You would be right, miss. That is absolutely correct.
Now, how far along are, when's the baby due?
In December, so I'm about 7 months.
Mm-hmm. December what? Like early?
Mid, yeah, like mid-December.
Mid?
Early to mid. Well, and amazingly, they do define their own time. I have to sort of sit back and...
Because this is your second?
Yeah.
So, and was the first one early, late, what?
Early, a couple of weeks early. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to pace myself, but I've been very lucky.
The dad is Ben Harper, who I love, the singer Ben Harper. Okay, and the first one is how old now?
3. He just turned 3, Ellery.
Wow. Ellery, that's a great name. And turned 3.
Yeah, I can't believe that,
I know,
right?
I can't believe it either.
It's shocking.
Yeah, and now what's he like? Is he good? Is he wild?
He's amazing.
Well, he's a
just
boy.
Total
You know how you
pure
hear.
boy energy.
Yeah.
And we just came from a friend's ranch in Austin, Texas, and he got to run around and see, nature, which he was obsessed with, and
he doesn't see that here. Where do you keep him in?
It's a
apartment or something?
We're in the depths of Hollywood, and he sees wildlife, but it's slightly different than in Texas. But he was just blissed out, he was so happy. It was slightly disconcerting for his mother, who was trying so hard to be the cool, groovy mom who was going to pick up the wild frog and go see the boar, and I just was not there for him.
You weren't interested in the frog?
I'm highly interested. But I realized when I have always called myself an animal lover that there are pet animals and then there's animals.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the animal thing down.
Well, a frog would be more like a reptile, and that's a slimy kind of thing that most people don't like. And does he like the lizards and the little bugs and all that?
Yeah. Mommy, I found a tail. Look, it's a tail. It came off the lizard. Maybe Buddy ate it, our dog. Fascinated. I'm, just absolutely horrified and not serving a motherly
or maybe he
purpose.
just yanked the tail off of something. Maybe
it's running around.
He's not knowing how to catch things quite.
Right.
But that's the first thing you teach him is to just grab the tail and yank it.
Just pull it off.
Yeah.
It's not, so.
But so he likes all the little things. Does he keep them in jars, thinking that'll stay?
Not yet.
Okay.
He's not there yet, but I know it's coming soon because we actually he had his first day at school and they had snails and he was able to let the snails crawl on him and I'm hyperventilating. I can't. I'm not good with all that.
What kind of school does he go to that they're putting snails?
He was covered in thousands of snails all over his body. Then I walked in, couldn't find him.
It's a school of snails that he goes to.
Yeah. It's
now,
really
in
good.
Jurassic Park, you didn't seem to be scared of any of that stuff.
Right?
You're an amazing actress.
It's the beauty of acting, isn't it?
You completely were believable that you weren't scared of any of that stuff.
Paleontologist. But she liked dead things. She liked things that are no longer existing, which is probably what I would do if I were, involved in animals.
Really? Just dead
studying
bugs.
Things that,
The study of dead bugs.
Yeah. If somebody said you can study sharks, they don't exist anymore, I'd be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fascinating thing to study,
Right?
I would think.
Yeah. As long as they're not around.
Right. Yeah. Here's what they did before when they were here.
They won't get you now.
Now, and so as a kid, were you probably just knew you wanted to act as a kid. You weren't into any of that stuff.
I bypassed all of that. And whether it's like girls or just that I was obsessed with acting. But even at a young age, actually when I was like 7, I guess about 7, and I'm pausing because I'm realizing that this is such an odd experience to like have a girlfriend and you're on a talk show talking to your girlfriend. So I'm thinking I'm probably being redundant. You've heard this story before, but I guess that's okay.
I haven't heard your first acting story.
Okay, good.
No, I'll stop you. I'll say I've heard that. Tell them something else.
All right, good. This is boring to me.
Yeah. But I have a book I can read. You just go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, guys, Helen's heard this. But my parents were both working. It was my summer vacation, and my dad was working on a film with Alfred Hitchcock, and my mother was working on a film with Martin Scorsese, and I got to go back and forth between both locations, and they wonder why I became an actress.
Right.
That was like the most extraordinary experience. So I became obsessed, and my mom was, I think, concerned as a woman in film, that it would be a sort of hard life for me and definitely against the whole idea. But I pushed and pushed.
And I'm so glad that you did. You're so, in everything, you're so amazing. And I was telling somebody today about Citizen Ruth, which was a really small movie that you did, but you're so good in Citizen Ruth. And this movie, we'll talk about after the commercial, but this movie is amazing. We'll be right back after this break.
Okay.
We're back with Laura Dern. Well, you told him. That is such a good movie. And that's Mark Ruffalo, and it's Peter Krause and Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
And what a great, were you, I mean, you and Mark together are fantastic.
It was just, I mean, just complete bliss. You know, people say, God, it's really emotional material. Is that hard, et cetera, you know? But you just, it's everything you want. So you have such a voracious appetite that all four of us to have parts like this, we were just having the best time of our lives being up there and working in Vancouver. And
Is that where that was shot? It was beautiful. It was,
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a very emotional and, you know, heavy, and especially the contrast between the two homes of how you lived and how Naomi Watts and Peter Krause lived. And
I just love, I mean, nobody's getting it right. It's such a pleasure to be part of a movie and to see movies where it's human behavior. It's not about anything but real life and what we're all struggling with. And betrayal comes in all kinds of forms in relationship, and how to learn to communicate and consciously behave in a partnership is, I think, what the lesson of the film is for the people in it. For the characters.
It really is. It's so good, and you're so good, as I said, in everything. But and was it hard for you to watch certain scenes of yourself because you were so intense in that?
It is. I mean, one thing I know we have talked about in terms of Citizen Ruth, actually, which is around the time we first met. I know, for me, it's the thing I love the most, playing really challenging people, to find empathy for them and to understand them and all of that. But then when you see the movie and you're outside of the experience of it, you know, they're messed up folks, the people I play. And I love it, and it's a great challenge. And sometimes you think, God, I can't believe I'm actually this person doing these things.
Playing this very unlikable character. All four people are, I mean, it's weird to watch a film that you don't like any of them.
Yeah, it's incredible, right?
But it's amazing. You can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you for being here,
Thank you
Laura.
so
Look for Laura
much.
Dern, and We Don't Live Here Anymore. And one more thing right after this.